results. We're joined now by our correspondent in Beirut, Leila Molana-Allen. Leila, we just heard a little while ago from Saad Hariri announcing losses, but he is set to stay on as Prime Minister, isn't he?
He is, yes. So we had Prime Minister Saad Hariri coming out and speaking. He was stuck in a bit of a difficult situation here because obviously we are hearing that they have lost seats, not confirmed completely yet, but he's also the Prime Minister, so he has to come forward and speak about the elections. So he looked quite tired, but still cheerful. He has held on to, it looks like, the Prime Minister position, but saying that his Future Movement Party has now got 21 seats, they think. They used to have 34, so that's a loss of almost a third, but because he's still the biggest Sunni candidate in the country and the Prime Minister has to be Sunni, hanging on to that. Now, in terms of Hezbollah, before this election, he was saying, you know, we are locked in a battle against Hezbollah for who will make decisions in this parliament. Now being far more prime ministerial about things and saying, of course, in this country, we have to work together. We have to have a plurality in our parliament. That's the only way it's going to work. But of course, he now has to have a working relationship with them. So that's on the Hezbollah side. In terms of the Future Movement, his own party, saying, elections are just a phase. Now I'm going to move on. That phase is over for me, and I'm going to think about what to do next for the party. We had difficulties with this new system, but we're looking ahead. He did take a little swipe at the Speaker of the House, Nabi Berri, from the last parliament, who is a Shia, because the Speaker has to be Shia. And earlier today, Nabi Berri said he wouldn't talk about who he wanted to elect for the Prime Minister role, because the elections will happen once the results are confirmed. So in retaliation, Prime Minister Saad Hariri saying he didn't know who he thought he wanted to elect for the Speaker of the House. So a little bit of rivalry there happening. And finally, he said, in terms of the international community, they should be happy that Lebanon had an election at all, because that's what they want, and it's gone as well as could be expected under the circumstances with this new system.
Leila, we can actually just take a listen in now to Saad Hariri, one extract of what he said to the media earlier, and then we'll come back to you. Let's take a listen to Saad Hariri speaking just a while ago.
We gambled on gaining more seats. We gambled on having a larger majority that would have included more Christians, more Shiites. But it proved difficult for a future movement because there was a desire to expel it from Lebanese politics. To deny its legitimacy and the fact that this is a movement that represents such a large number of Lebanese people.
Saad Hariri speaking a little bit earlier, announcing a loss of about a third of the seats in his formation. Leila, those results have been taking quite a while to come in, a lot longer than expected, after so much talk of a reform of the electoral process, and it didn't go perhaps quite as smoothly as hoped for, right?
No, it seems not at all. So they had completely, after 9 years of no elections, revolutionised the practical way that the vote happens here. Lots of new systems, barcodes on the ballots. It was all meant to happen very quickly with the new efficient system. The counting, they thought maybe by last night, then this morning, by the middle of the day, but still nothing. Now, we've had several reports of problems here. One of the issues is that they're still counting in Akkar in the north and also in Beirut, and in Belbek Hermel on the Bekaa Valley on the Syrian border. A lot of problems yesterday. They ran out of ballot boxes, and so the polls had to be extended the opening hours yesterday evening. So we still haven't got those figures in. But beyond that, we're now getting reports of up to 7,000 election problems around the country going against the rules here. And what's concerning about that is that we've had the Lebanese Association for Democratic Elections coming out now. They're saying that they saw lots of violations about the media blackout, with representatives for the different parties pressuring people in the polling booths. Also the curtains, there being no curtains inside the polling booths so people could see what votes were there, and even direct violence against people voting. Now, it's unclear whether lots of people now are saying that there were violations because they're just filtering through from other districts, or because they're now, as they're waiting, getting frustrated about hearing about these unconfirmed results, and they're sort of trying to hedge their bets and say, oh, well, things have gone wrong. So one of the issues that we're having is in Beirut. Jumana Haddad, who is one of the independent candidates who we had heard had won, one of the new female candidates, they have now come out and said she hasn't won at all. There's a protest happening right now outside the Ministry of the Interior. And here in a country where election results and politics do result in violence sometimes, the real concern is the longer we wait, the more likely people get angry rather than being excited that we've had this new election, and violence may occur tonight if we don't get some confirmation soon.